My guess is this is probably not your first chipping video that you've watched, and most of the information on YouTube and elsewhere is around the technique. Whether we release the club, how we use the bounce, whether we're steep or not. And that stuff is all fantastic, but it's only half the story. There is also a human being on the end of the club, and how we interact with the motion and the ball is a big deal.
Oh my.
So in this video, I'm going to take you through some really simple drills to build some of these core skills that could completely transform your short game. And the key skill I want to focus on in this video is often unseen. It's something that is less obvious and very rarely spoken about. And that is our ability, well, first of all, our relationship to the ball, which gives us the ability to make a smooth flowing motion regardless of the ball. So as I walk up and down these balls here, regardless of the type of ball, you'll see that the club is flowing, it comes to a precise stop, it's the same rhythm, there's no motion to try and find the ball or find impact, there's no deceleration. I am essentially defusing myself from the ball and just have that consciousness to be able to make the club swing back and through uninterrupted. So the ball is almost a secondary goal, if you like. Can I get from the end of my backswing to the end of my through swing uninterrupted by the ball? So you saw me there hitting a few different types of balls, and the point of that being that the ball is really not a key part of my sort of conscious attention and awareness. I am more involved in the flowing motion of the club. We'll talk about flow in a moment, and how the club finishes, so I don't get drawn in with anxiety and try to find contact. So let's take you through a couple of really simple drills to build this absolutely paramount skill. And one of them is, first of all, is understanding what our rhythm should look like. So as I swing the club here, well, there's a couple of things. There is what is flow. So flow is me being able to basically have some of that in my swing. So a concept I often talk about with chippers is, what is powering the club there? Clearly in this motion, it's probably 5% me at the handle and 95% just momentum. So they're very much flow. Whereas at the other end of that scale would be me sort of gripping it tightly, steering it, guiding it, either fast or worse still, slowly guiding it. If you're doing that, you are out the game when it comes to chipping. We need to be able to feel the swinging motion of the head. So in that concept, the right balance then would be, if I can just sort of show you that motion, would be 30% me and 70% flow. So when I talk about flow, it is giving up to that fluid acceleration and swinging of the head. And when it comes to rhythm, well, rhythm needs to be, and a good analogy for that is like a striking of a match. It doesn't just sort of continually accelerate slowly at the same speed. It has a crescendo and a sudden stop to it to catch the match. So my rhythm would look like this. It has this flow, it has a swing, and then it has a sudden stop. And that sudden stop is almost the same length as the backswing. I would say very slightly shorter than the backswing. So if the backswing is here, I would flow through and stop it here. And the follow through is always held. And that's really important. So before every shot, I am practicing that flowing motion. I'm trying to get the ground contact that I'm after, and I'm trying to get the club finishing the way I want to. So this is a great drill that will build on those skills of creating fluid motion, composure to the end of the swing, and that detachment from the ball. So this is how the drill works. You're going to have a few practice swings and just hold the follow through at the end. That's really important, because at that point, I want you to reflect on how far through the follow through is relative to the backswing. And you'll use this awareness scale. So if the follow through is exactly the same length as the backswing, you'll say it's a 0. If it's longer, it's a positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want any positive numbers. If it's shorter, then it's a minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the sweet spot is 0 is good, -1 is probably the what we're really aiming for. So I'll have a few practice strokes. That felt like a -1, maybe a -2. -1, maybe 0. And just as an example, oh, that's a positive 5. You can see the acceleration on the club there goes on for far too long. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and hit some shots. And again, my attention isn't on trying to find the contact, it's to feel the club sliding through the grass, that's always key. And can I nail that follow through at a -1? And I think that's a -1. Let's try that again. -1, maybe there wasn't such a crisp acceleration. And clearly, that's not the same rhythm. So related to that is the one that I did earlier, which was to use different types of balls. Remember, the skill is, can I stay engaged in the fluid motion of the club, where it stops, and the feeling of how it's grounding, and not get drawn in by the ball? So it's that detachment or diffusion from strike that we're looking to target here. So be playful, use different types of balls. And you know, if you are engaged purely in the motion, then of course the ball won't matter, will it? So using this sort of foam ball here, same skill, -1, maybe a 0. This is like a tennis ball. So I'm building, again, -1, 0. They hit the flag, bizarrely. I'm just building that detachment from the ball. So when it comes to a real ball, can I do exactly the same thing? Not focus on the ball, but just create that fluid motion that finishes where I want it to. Okay, so my pre-shot routine, and it always kind of works like this, is obviously there's the planning stage. I need to think about where I'm going to land it, how it's going to run out, think about the lie, the club choice. We'll cover those in a separate video. This is a standard gap wedge shot, landing on middle of the green and running out. Then I am having a couple of practice strokes. And in those, when I say a couple, it might be 2, it might be 4. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to establish the fluid rhythm that stops in the right place, has that precise stop. And I'm also just trying to create the correct or the desired ground contact. In this case, I'm using the bounce. So you'll hear there's a thud sound. And I'm also stopping the club at the end. And then when I play the shot, I've kind of looked at where I'm aiming. I'm not trying to hit the ball close. I'm just trying to make the right motion and stop in the right place. So obviously looking at where I'm going to land it, execute the shot, get to that follow through, hold the follow through. And then it's almost like I look up and it's almost a surprise that the ball's finished close. The point is, I'm not trying to hit the ball close. I'm just trying to execute the shot and have that composure to get to the end of the swing. So those are just 2 of what I believe to be the absolute core skills of chipping, which are, in my view, at least as important as the technique that you choose to use. And if that's slightly different to the way you understand chipping, then I've put a playlist down below over here, which has many more drills just like that, challenging your attention, your intention, and your perception of how you're moving the club. But before we see you next time, please give those drills a go. They're very simple, but that's not to say they're easy. And good luck. Play well.